Like many of us, I suspect, when we heard the sad news of the passing of Derek Mahon over the weekend, I went to the bookshelf and pulled out a book just to reacquaint myself with some of his beautiful and lyrical work. And in reading On Bon Ennui in particular, there was two lines that jumped out at me. The whole unfortunate country frozen over, and your voice stilled by enforced sobriety. And those words really strongly resonate with the country at the minute, coming into the winter with increased COVID restrictions. Our towns and cities are increasingly locked down and quietened. And how much do we miss those stilled voices, our performing arts sector, who are among those who have been most acutely affected by this pandemic and the public health measures it has necessitated. While we know that COVID-19 has had a profound impact across all of our society, it is true to say that some sectors have borne the brunt of the storm, while other sectors have been relatively sheltered. Even within the arts community, there are those who have been able to continue their practice, so writers can write, painters can paint, but those within the performing arts have not just seen their income, but their career progression and their artistic expression come to a dead halt. And it's not just the performers who have been impacted, all the other professions that stand behind theatre, dance or live music, from sound engineers to set designers, are also at a standstill. Venues and festivals have been doing their best to push water uphill. The Imagine Arts Festival in Waterford, for example, was doing all within their power to have some live audience component in their upcoming programme. But the change this week in public health advice may well have put paid to those plans. So two things come to me on this, Minister. The first is in processing and comprehending the emotional impact of the pandemic, the grief of lives lost, of relationships sundered, the legacy of anxiety and isolation. It will be to the arts community that we turn. They're the lens through which we view ourselves as a society, and they're never so important as when society is in upheaval. And the second is that artists want to create. While all workers should be rewarded for their work, for performing artists, there's an impulse to perform that goes beyond the understanding of a traded wage economy. So, Minister, I would ask you to consider this resource a most human resource that currently stands as a country frozen over, and consider how their creative impulse can be harnessed in this changed reality. I think there exists a great opportunity to leverage their skills and ability by using our fund of arts and culture in the coming months to commission, to record and to archive. I refer you to some of the past great projects, be it the Dogan Records of Native Irish Dialects or RTE's Beckett on Film in 2001. There have been times when we've chosen to invest in the National Archive and to lay down for future generations a record of the current cultural or social context of our times. Minister, make this one of those times. Consider investing in composers, playwrights and performers during this period. Allow our creative artists to create and the supporting industries to support. Allow our social historians to record those stories and voices which may be fading away on our island. Allocate resources to our National Archive, both to organise what already exists and to add to that great store. And I doubt I'll be alone in, again, quoting Derek Mahon to close, "The sun rises in spite of everything." At some future point, we will look back at this time of COVID. And I think, Minister, with your help, and I know you have a massive interest and a deep understanding of this sector, I think with your help, let us hope that we still have a functioning arts community that will help us to look back and make sense of all that has happened.